Hello, my dear Capricorn. This is your love and spirituality reading for the time between October 1 and October 15, 2017 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. So I use the Legacy of the Divine Tarot with the Zero Marchetti, and I will start shuffling your cards. And I call the Divine with Love and Light. And I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world. And I call the 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Capricorn viewers. So I want my dear Capricorn to have love in their lives, and I want you to have creative success. I also want you to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So I also want to take the chance to tell you that the Sun moves from Virgo to Libra the 22nd of September, and from Libra to Scorpio the 23rd of October. From a Swedish point of view, I might add. The Sun picks up a square to Pluto, moving direct in Capricorn October 4 to October 15. It is also opposing Uranus, moving retrograde in Aries October 11 until October 29. The Sun. Okay, we have the Sun, Aries, and the Fool. This is rather interesting. I was just talking about the Sun, and we have Uranus moving retrograde in Aries, the Emperor. The Emperor is number 4, numerology. In numerology, if you get the number 22, that is the Fool. So 2 plus 2 is 4, the Emperor. So it's something here with the Divine Masculine, definitely, that's about to happen. We have had the Divine Masculine only in big parts of the world, only showing the shadow side of the Divine Masculine, being strong, having power, power over others, things like this. But the Divine Masculine is so much more than this. It's a protection, responsibility, new inventions, finding new solutions, carrying us into the future, things like this. So it's very beautiful that this card came and made me and you aware that what is happening now with this Uranus and the Sun thing is going to awaken more of the positive Divine Masculine, more of the light side, Sun, enlightenment, illumination of this Emperor, from their cradle to their big, how can you say, the peak of life with the Emperor. This is the child, and this is the grown man. We also have the World card here. So the World card is the first card of the Major Arcana deck. No, the last card, sorry. Here you have the first card, and this is the last card. And 21 is connecting to 2 plus 1 is 3, the Empress. So you have both the Emperor and Empress energy here, Alpha and Omega, being born and being like swallowed again by the big everything. And we have also the Sun. 19, 20 is the Judgment Day, 21 is the World. So big things seems to be happening for in the astrological sense right now. Where were I? The Sun is opposing Uranus, moving retrograde in Aries October 11 until October 29, peaking October 19. Mercury travels together with the Sun, and it's the messenger, very close to the Sun, and now it will be as usual close. So we'll see. It moves into Libra September 30 and into Scorpio October 17, where it joins there with Jupiter that moved into Scorpio 12th of October after being in Libra kind of forever. So Sun, not forever, but for a long time. Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter oppose Uranus retrograde in Aries together. Mercury and Sun also squares Pluto in Capricorn together. So that's rather powerful. Mars and Venus is in Virgo, opposing See where were I? Mars and Venus are in Virgo. Opposing Neptune moving retrograde in Pisces the first week of October. Mars and Venus square Saturn in Sagittarius until about October 20. Venus traveled into Libra October 15. Mars moves into Libra October 15, so they are also traveling together this time. Mars moves into Libra October 21st. Venus picks up a square to Pluto October 24th, and opposing to Uranus retrograde in Aries October 29. We will have the first new moon on the cusp Libra Scorpio September 20, full moon in Aries October 5, and the second new moon in Libra October 19. That will be rather powerful, with both the new moon and sun in Libra together with Jupiter and Mercury in Scorpio, all opposing retrograde Uranus in Aries. That's the hangman illumination. Okay, and we have the 21 coming out. 21, if you cast the number, it's 12. 1 plus 2, again, the Empress. So it's kind of a big birth here. Something is being born, and it's probably the divine masculine, the more light illuminated side of the divine masculine, hopefully saving us all. Okay, and so I will just tune in for a few seconds, and then I will start with your reading. So, my dear Capricorn, this is your future. This is your now, and this is the past. So the past is probably, yes, September. It can be a longer period of time if it's major arcana cards, because they usually display bigger events or quicker events sometimes. And this is in the now, so that will be the first part of October 2017 for the most of you. And I will remind you that this is a forecast, so not all of you will recognize yourself. But if you watch this now, you will have a forecast, and if you watch again later on, you will also maybe know more what I'm talking about here. And this is the future, and the future is probably the second part of October into November. Some of you will recognize yourself in all of what I'm saying here already, because it's something that has repeated in your life over and over and over again, and it still wants to be solved. And for some of you, you are forerunners, so you will kind of be the first drop that goes through the sand in the desert when the rain comes, and other drops will follow, and it's making a road, and it will be a river eventually, but someone needs to go first, the first drop of water that's singling through the sand. So the first card here for you, Capricorn, is the moon. And the moon is going through, I will see, with Capricorn. We have Pluto moving direct in Capricorn since last of September, triangling Mars and Venus in Virgo since around that day until 11th of October. On the 3rd of October, Pluto picks up a square to the Sun, and for a while also to Mercury in Libra. The square to the Sun ends October 15. On the 24th, Pluto picks up a square to Venus in Libra, and that will last throughout the month. And Moon moves through in the later part of October 25th to 27. But as you remember, we had the full moon in Pisces September 6th. And the moon card is actually Pisces and Cancer. So the moon is about the subconscious realms of you. It's recording everything that you have been throughout all this life, all other lives that you have lived throughout your whole existence. This is your subconscious, and it's a beautiful intelligence to the moon, but it can be very scary realms. Everything is kind of collected there in codes and symbols that we can remember through eons, because it's kind of our Akasha Chronicles. It's our common memory. So it's stored there with symbols that might scare the living crap out of you. In dreams, for example, it can be a ghost haunting you. And when you finally you are tied on this repeating things with the ghosts coming and coming and coming, and you will ask them, so what do you want with me? And they will answer, and they will have a message from the subconscious. And it's the same with dreaming of other scary things like bears or sharks or murders or whatever. They are always coming with a message from your subconscious about something that you need to look into. It's kind of a warning signal. It's like flying with an airplane and having low altitude, and you don't want to see this often because it's scary. When it comes to these frequencies, it's scary. It's like when you are about to do something that's really dangerous. Maybe you are not really awake when you're driving your car, and suddenly you just drive out in the road and take a left, and there's coming cars from the right. You survive. There's no scratch to the car or anything, but you will have this big emotional push through your body, like a lightning flash will go through your body, and that is your feeling vibrations, this warning signal from the moon, from the subconscious. It will happen like this quick. It's like stored in your reptile brain, this quick flashes of adrenaline and other things that will make you aware that something dangerous was almost happening to you. So it's trying to teach you something. It's not trying to scare you. It's trying to give you information. So try to not run so hard when you are being here with the moon. The moon can also be like slow down, take a deep breath, dive in my waters. So it might be that you're coming down with a cold and you need to stay home from work because you have something other important to do here in the moon, something that you need to be very still and lie like very in a very receptive mood to be able to encounter. When you run around and do everyday chores, you won't be able to connect with this your subconscious. So it might have to scare you with real things happening in your life. And here we have the Empress. You can see the naked female in the moon card here, and the Empress here. So it's very much about fertility. It's something fertile wants to be born here through the moon, and it's both a major arcana card. So it seems like important things were happening for you in August and September, early or throughout September. The Empress is a card about fertility and abundance. Nature is very abundant, and its waters are being ruled by the moon, being pulled. If this is the earth and this is the moon, it's being like pulling the waters wherever the moon is. The water on the earth's surface will bulge out a little bit and create flood. So these two are working very well together, very feminine energies, also talking about moon cycles, feminine nature, very connected to the female menstrual cycles. So whenever you feel the moon, or even if you are a masculine person, when you feel the moon is calling you, this is your feminine side calling you into discussion, because nature is so totally intelligent. It creates things that we can't even imagine how it was like created like this. It's so beautiful, everything is so perfect, and it's all like coming out in perfection and in abundance. Nature is abundant. It's the feminine part of it all. It's being ancestral lines, like new things are being born all the time. Masculine energy takes this feminine energy and do something else with it, like master it in some way. For example, you can take different natural resources and create a house. You can also take different natural resources and create a road or a car, but you can't ever make that house being like birthing forward new houses or new roads or new cars. So the Empress is the source of everything. So we can take it, we can use the different elements of nature to create whatever we want, and to have like good use of it and use its power. So the feminine is like the source of our power. It's also the source of our connection to the divine. And here you have the Judgment. So the Judgment is the apocalypse. It's the when the veil will fall from all our eyes and we will see the truth. And sometimes the truth is hard and grim. It can have been warning you about something for a very long time, and you didn't listen to those warning signals. This might be part of you that you have pushed down in the shadows. You didn't want to listen to them. You didn't want to be there with them because they, in some way, they stopped you from doing what you wanted. For example, if you want to be loved and you are a very strong person that doesn't take no for an answer, you might have learned that this being a strong person that doesn't take no for an answer will make people, aka your parents, for example, or caretakers, not loving you because they wanted a subordinate child. And therefore you have pushed your strong sides into the darkness and you say, shut up, keep quiet, be down there. I want to be loved. This is important for me. It's survival. We can't survive without love. It's killing us if when we miss something, we usually miss someone or a social context that we can be in. So we have sacrificed different parts of ourselves down in the shadows because they made us, or they might have... it might have not fit into the culture. If you are a masculine person and you are highly sensitive, very emotional, maybe guys in your surroundings said, well, shape up, don't be such a wuss, la da 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 da. I won't even copy what they might have been saying. And this made you change yourself. You were this beautiful, beautiful expression of life in its natural shape and form. But because of some cultural beliefs, you had to squish half of yourself away here. For example, a guy that wants to have long hair, being sad, the little boy being sad every time someone cuts his hair. But he needs to because of the culture pressure. In other case, everyone will call him a girl, and it will be like, but I'm a boy. Well, you can't be. You have long hair. You look like a girl. You're very sweet. Okay, so this is the different parts of you that you have squeezed back because of the kind of regime that we are living under right now. It's different things with different parts of our history, like in the ages of French Revolution, for example, guys dressed very feminine and they were still guys, and now it's totally uncool for a guy to dress feminine, but it's coming back. So it's just culture things. It's just like painting on what's really there, but many of you have kind of changed accordingly to this outer surface of how things should be, and therefore you have compromised yourself, and now you need to rebirth. You have been rebirthing your true self, and if you're strong, you are going to show people that you're strong. You're not going to pretend that you are small and weak. If you are very emotional, you will show that too. You will show people your exact emotion and you will communicate it, and they will get to know the real you. Bravo. Okay. And the judgment is also seeing awful things like how you have been treating, how you have been compromising yourself to being loved, to get reward, to get to where you are in a certain company or whatever, and how it has tainted you or made you someone that you were not. And now this your true self has been born here. So it's a pregnancy, it's fertility, and this is a soul retrieval happening here for Capricorn. And here we have the Five of Swords, so it doesn't look that you have gotten the best support in this your endeavors to birth forward this new thing. Five of Swords is like people saying, but you are not following the rules of this painting that we have painted upon the world, and we want you to become subordinate to what we have already decided, like humankind together. And all the fives is connected to the High Priest number 5 card, and it's all our collected human rules and memories, how we are trying to live together in peace, and sometimes or almost all the time it's making us group into different groups. Like this religious group, they are Christianity, there's Christians here and there's Muslims here, and they are divided, even though they have the same book. I almost saw like a book here, but it's, of course, it's shields and arrows, but it looks like a book being opened. And they share the same book, but they have these different opinions of how you should read this book and what should be in it or not. And that makes us group, and we feel safe in our groups. And if anyone wants to go to that group, this group won't like that. And if anyone in this group wants to go over to that group, or maybe create a whole total new group, the other persons in that group will say, you are not following the rules, and you are being judged. So this is the card of being defeated, or wanting to defeat others that as you see fit, because also in those groups there's authority, and those authority wants you to keep inside a group, because if you keep if they have you underneath them, they are very powerful, like a king almost. Okay, so how do you get people to subordinate underneath a group? You intimidate them, you scare them, maybe with going to church every Sunday and listen to how sinful you are, or hearing 5 times a day that you need to follow these and these rules. So this is how you make people subordinate to your group, and you get a lot of power. So of course people doesn't want you to be born into your true self. That is making them lose power. So they are going to be scared of your new development, and they are going to try to keep you underneath their boot. And some Capricorn might be trying this with people that's also waking up to their true self. It can go either way here. So it's different for different Capricorns. It depends on what you are doing, what you have been doing, and how much you have been exposed to pain and fear. So that depends on how much you have grown, because pain and fear is how we grow. And here you have a beautiful Ace of Swords. So this is seeing things from an above perspective, like a divine perspective. And you will see that there is no groups. We are all one, and we're coming from the same consciousness. So that might unite you. You have been going through some difficult times here. Maybe people not agreeing with you, or not connecting with you, rather wants to rule over you or win over you, or you want to win over others. And here's the Ace of Swords, so that blood, sweat and tears and victory at last. So anyhow, the truth will win, the truth will come out, and people will see things for what they really are, because we are in the year of 2017, the end of illusions. So no one will be able to escape with a lie anymore. They will get caught, and it's not that they will get caught and people will seek revenge. It's that they will be caught and they will be left. No one will subordinate themselves to their powers anymore, because they have found their own way, their own consciousness, their own hotline to God or goddesses. So it's very beautiful, but it's never coming easy. And this is how it's supposed to be in this life. We are supposed to be pushed and squeezed into this birth canal, and coming out on the other end enlightened, like with the Ace of Swords here. Ace of Swords, all the aces is chances. So you have a very great chance here to be yourself and talk your truth, even if your voice shakes, even if you're really scared of the consequences of the current society that you're living in. So this is what I see for you in your past. So now I will go to your now. So Capricorn, here we have the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is connected to the Moon card, and you have the Moon card above her head. So this is a pilot that listens to the warning signals of its airplane's panel. Okay, this is someone that's not scared of their own emotions, of their own impulses, of their own thoughts, of their own past or their own future. They just take everything that like it comes. They don't mind what happens. They just listen very closely to their own intuition, to their own instincts. We can see this. This is actually Lilith. And she's holding the pomegranate, the forbidden fruit from the paradise. Before we were falling out of grace from paradise, that was actually human evolution. We got aware, we got a mind. We started to be able to have this above perspective thinking, to seeing like the past, the future, problem solving, things like this. But it made us fall out of grace in that way, that it disconnected us from the earthly grid, from Mother Nature. So in Egypt, religion. Nature is above humans because nature knows things that human doesn't. It knows when spring is going to come, when there's going to be a cold or flooding or an earthquake or whatever. People, human beings, rarely know this because they were disconnected from the grid during this their awakening of their human mind. And this made them start to, they weren't able to like take fruits from the trees anymore. They really didn't know anymore how to search for food and everything because they have lost their memory, the common memory that they had together with the animals. And they need to start almost like a squirrel. That's a very beautiful expression of nature, to start harvesting for the winter and for like less fortunate days. So that was when we started to work for our survival. It was not just handed over to us like falling in our lap due to our connection with Mother Nature. We had to work really hard. And in this context, we got also scared. We become like the Five of Swords. We didn't want anything dangerous to happen to us because we have lost our memory and we didn't know what's going to happen. So we got scared and we wanted to, with our mind, solve every problem that came along. And we collected into groups, and groups got authority over other groups. And yes, you know the human history. But here we are reconnecting to our beautiful nature. So this is one person that has gotten connection with the grid again, okay? So it's very wonderful. And they are not afraid of their emotions anymore because they know it's their telepathic connection with nature and divine and everything. And also animals. We can see people starting to talk with animals and being reconnected into this grid, using their ability to have visions, to see things for their inner visions, to talk with pictures. When you go into a room and you immediately feel that you don't like the person that's in there, that is this grid that you are using. So you already have it. It's just that you forgot it. It's like you got amnesia and you forgot everything about this. And here you are beautifully, beautifully reconnecting. But when you are doing so, you're also reconnecting with your self-respect and your self-love. And you're not able to taint yourself and subordinate yourself to kings. That's not just and fair, like this Five of Swords here. You are greater than that. You are more unique than that. You have your own authority. You don't have to face the authority through someone else. You can listen to your own inside and get the correct answers. So this is a beautiful, beautiful pathway with human evolution, where you are being reconnected to your feminine side. And it's through your emotions and your body you'll be able to reconnect with the divine, because this is the system to which we talk with ground control with the divine. And the swords, your human mind, is also a way, but it's not the only way. And this is very masculine. So you can also listen to your angel radio, like your thoughts going around and around in your head, and you can grab them and take control over them, and listen to what they are saying and write it down. And then return to your body, because thoughts can be very making disharmony in your body if they're going around and around, because your body doesn't know the difference with what you think and what you're actually experiencing. So it can be very stressful to think and think and think and think. And as this evolution is going, you also need to get control over your thoughts. They are supposed to be a tool, not you being tool to your thoughts. You are supposed to be able to use your thoughts, but not being used or abused by your thoughts. It's almost like you have like this person inside of you telling you what to do with a very strict voice. If you don't do this, awful things will happen. So this is how your mind is scaring you, and you need to start to take control over this and listen to the voice, and then silence it by feeling the feelings that it left in your body. So becoming more aware. It's like your I is waking up and seeing what the am are doing. Am is your thoughts, feelings, emotions, vibrations, visions, dreams, whatever. And here you have the 21 world card. So this is a big cycle of something that's ending, and it's coming underneath the Empress. 21 is 2 + 1, the Empress. So they are very connected. This is This is the last card of the major arcana, so it's talking about real endings. It might be ending of an era or a certain timeline and a beginning of a new one. It's beautiful. You have learned a thing that you were supposed to learn. You have graduated from school. You made you did your lesson well, and even though it has been really tough, and you have gone through like the dark night of the soul, and you are come out now on the other side. You are being reborn into a new reality. It's a totally new beginning here. Also with the Ace of Swords there. So self-respect, and also being on your highest path towards your highest destiny. That's not much more we can wish for here. Here is the Three of Wands. So Three of Wands is, I feel it's connected to the High Priestess energy, but it's actually number 3, the Empress energy. But this is self-respect. So the High Priestess has all the elements of everything. So she's both masculine and feminine, black and white, alpha and omega, yin and yang. And here you have the Three of Wands. This is masculine, rather masculine feminine card. So it's rather non-compromising. You don't want to compromise about the future that you see, your future vision. The pomegranate that she holds in her hand, you can see the shape going again in the balloons here, and also in this. That's the halo around her head. So she has a lot of visions. She knows what she wants to create. He knows what he wants to create. Okay. And you are not going to compromise with this. It's the judgment day here. You're reawakening your lost soul parts, and everyone part of you have something to say, and they are not wanting to compromise yourself in front of others anymore. You are going to be your true self, and this is making you very strong. And it's like you have a car battery like grooming inside of you, a lot of energy at your disposal, and this is not, it's the time for negotiation, but you need to know what you can negotiate about and what you're not compromising with. We should always try to create harmony. Threes are very harmonious cards, but you need to do so without hurting any part of yourself, any archetype within yourself. You need to listen to everything inside of you and see. You can say, okay, I'm about to take this job. Are we all right with this? And you will feel inside your body, and you will feel if it's hurting somewhere, and you can do an exercise going into that feeling, seeing it like with all your 5 senses and connecting to it, and ask it questions, and you will get to know why it has things that you don't agree with this, what you want to do. And here you have a beautiful 6 of Swords coming underneath the 5 of Swords. So 5 of Swords is this harmony, 6 of Swords is harmony, and you also have the Ace of Swords hanging from the ceiling of this tunnel. So this is Persephone going down in the netherworld to marry Hades, and with her in the boat she has the Hermit. I don't know if you can see the Hermit there. It's a freedom expression, but it's also connected to relationships. You connect your head and your heart in this matter, and you're going to go deeper to see what it's all about, to get more knowledge. And the knowledge you will get from your shadowy realms, your shadows, the things with you that you have repressed. So you're really going to do, like, continue on this soul retrieval thingy and understand a thing or two about forgiveness and self-acceptance and forgiving yourself, and maybe healing your thoughts as well. Not if every time you caught yourself with thinking like, well, oh, that was really stupid of me. I'm so stupidly stupid. Okay, so you just see it, and eventually when you're ready, you start to say, okay, no, I'm not stupid. It's all right. I did this, and it's okay. I can deal with whatever comes. I will take responsibility for my own action, and this is fine. No big danger here. So this is when you become very stoic, and also being happy with whatever situation you're in. You're taking whatever curveball the divine is sending you and being all right with it, because you are becoming more strong. You are retrieving soul parts, like things swimming around in this lake of fire here, or yes, and you're asking them questions, so they will return to you if you're opening up and giving awareness. You're awakened awareness, your eye to them, like listening to their different pains and aches here. So that will make you, when they come back to you, you will get more energetical, and it's like you're getting superpowers. Because you're becoming your true self and like 100% your own energy. Before, you may be compromising like 50% of your energy, but now you're even going to go down and marry the devil. That's your shadow. So you're going to find out this voice in your head, the devil's lawyer, the devil on your shoulder. What does it really want? Maybe it doesn't want to chase you or murder you or eat you. Maybe it wants to save you. It can be it. And here we have Knight of Wands. And Knight of Wands is your strength and your curiosity and your ability to reach a goal. So you have the Ace of Swords, blood, sweat and tears, victory at last. And you have a knight to go out and do this battling for you. And it's a beautiful knight that goes to the Eastern philosophies and take them with them into the Western societies. Ignition, curiosity, finding new ways of doing things, never ending with stopping, like learning new things all the time, not standing still, not being conservative, but learning new things. And learning new things is a little bit of a threat to authority. Therefore, scientists today in some branches start to look like religion. You are not allowed to research certain things because that's a threat to authority. So again, it's like the new beautiful paradigm that come with scientific exposure and experience has again become like this dull big machine that's killing its own curiosity. But some parts is surviving, and we see it surviving here with Capricorn. You're not going to let yourself become silent. This is a fire burning, it's a longing, and it's not going to be stopped. It wants freedom, it wants experience new thing. Also remembering, I think, the things of the moon, the things of the old that was forgotten, like reclaiming your own mind. It's like, I think the magnetic field of the earth is being connected to our memory. And whenever the magnetic field of the earth is tainted, we are also forgetting things. But it's also part of our evolution. But now I think we may start to remember things. I don't know for how long. Maybe there's going to be a magnetic reversal. That doesn't mean anything for you more than that the plus and minus pole on the earth will change. It does so every 11th year on the sun. And it causes a little bit of sun eruptions and things like this. But on the earth, it takes like 750,000 years or so for it to shift. And it might be that it's about to shift right now. And that might cause problems with our memories. But we might also retrieve memories from the old. So try to keep as much memory as you can there. Okay, so that was in the now, and it seems like you are in a beautiful journey to find out something. It's something exciting, it's something that you have known before because you are searching for it in your shadows. And here we have the 5, the Fate card. So we now have both the High Priestess and the 5, the Fate card. The 5, the Fate card is actually, it's the High Priest, okay? And it's connected to Taurus. Taurus was once a very feminine sign. It is still, but it's now connected to more authority and following rules and being good in society, because we know all what happens to the Taurus persons in kind of 3,500 years ago or 4,000 years ago, maybe a little bit more. They were killed by the thousands because they worshipped the golden calf, and it was the old religion of that era, because the Taurus era was in about 2,000 years, and then it went into the Aries era, and the Aries era is the era of the Old Testament in the Bible. And this was an ending of this Taurus religion. This Taurus religion birthed forward things like Buddhism, Hinduism, Egyptian religion, the civilization on Crete. We can see this sacrificial killing of the bull with the Mitras, kind of Jesus figure that kills off the bull. And we went into the Aries era, that's a little bit more about the head and masculine and authority and things like this. In the Pisces era, we were supposed to reunite again, like masculine and feminine was supposed to be equal. That was, Jesus was coming with long hair and sacrificing himself like no battle god of authority and revenge would ever do. But he was hijacked, or this age was hijacked, so we are still in this very masculine, power-hungry shadow age. and the Taurus people haven't yet been freed. They are freed in their spirits, but they are still very trying to make things by the book, following the rules. They have not yet done revolution, but they are about to. They are just a little bit tired right now because of this exhaustion of holding up this very well-behaved facade of doing things when they are really revolutionary spirits. And here we have also justice. So justice is Libra, and this is balance. It's balance being retrained between equals. We see the yin and yang symbol here. So it's about this truth again, and it comes underneath the divine feminine here. So it's a justification of the divine feminine, finally giving justice to the divine feminine. Instead of the masculine subordinate themselves and giving away half of their power, the feminine has been hanging on the cross for 2000 years during the Pisces age, when we were supposed to be not in a patriarchat, not in a matriarchat. Well, that was not right, but I'm sorry, you know what I mean. Not either of those. We should have been like in an equal age, and we weren't. And now we're going into the Aquarius age. That's more about the head and creations and curiosity and new inventions, green energy, things like this. So it's a more masculine age, actually. So it's like we missed this feminine or this feminine masculine equal age. But here the equality comes, the justice comes. In the end, it will be here. And it will free us all, because also the masculine is hijacked. It's not that it has sit up there on its throne and being like everything is fine. They have been in battle with each other of this authority and having like pecking orders and things. And it was supposed to be equalness, like in Justice card here. And it's Jupiter is giving us justice. It's in Libra right now, and it's making this thing with justice much bigger. But it will go out and go into Scorpio, and that's Scorpio is when we are doing revolution against everything that was before, because it's very transformative sign. It goes from water to fire, from Scorpio snake to eagle, the serpent in the sky. So it's people being like totally out of order. They are coming with new things, having strange haircuts and not following rules and things like this. So they are a little bit wild, but they are coming with the latest download. So we are going to have that being like expanded. A lot of major arcana cards here in your reading. And here we have a Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords is not believing in yourself, not trusting in yourself. Here is Aquarius. The Aquarius, everything with Aquarius is present to this man. Also the moon is present to this man. They can have all the knowing from their thoughts or the knowing from their feelings, but they're still not thinking that they are good enough. They are not taking authority over their own lives. They think, I can't create this. I'm not good enough. So I have to steal things from people that's really already have come to somewhere I can't never be. And I'm not, this is not always stealing. It can also be gathering information. It can also be a person that think, I will never be as great as them. So it's some kind of thing. It's a challenge within the thoughts, and we can see it here. Ace of Swords, Six of Swords, Seven of Swords. So this will be your challenge, Capricorn. Everything is running smooth as butter here, but your thoughts will be the problem. You will still think that you're not good enough, or you're not as good as them. Envy might be a problem. Instead of thinking that you can get things for yourself, you will envy people that has those things you want to have. And you need to step into your own in your own power and not give it away to other people by thinking that you are subordinate or you are less than them. Because when people feel that they are less than other people, they think that they are not worthy of being loved. When you're not worthy of being loved, at least you want to be respected. So you try to put yourself in respect to others, make yourself an authority. And if that doesn't work, you want them to fear you. And you hear, this is the road down to criminality, being an outsider, being on the edge of society, being not included. And of course, this is a danger if you feel that the unique you that's being birthed forward is not being accepted. You are going to feel very sad. But don't feel sad. Everyone is going through this. Everyone is going to be their unique self. It's just that you are a little bit ahead maybe, and therefore you will feel a little bit alone. But soon everyone will be very individualistic and yet want to be in connection with others, but on their own terms. So people are going to group up in new groups that's suiting them well, and maybe we are going to have the same hierarchy eventually. This is always seems to be the case with Earth, but Seven of Swords is like shape up. It's like you're being infested a little bit with the Taurus thing that, well, you were once murdered, so you don't want to step into your authority and truth again because you don't know what will happen. So if you have been like manhandled due to the centuries, being like burned on the stake or put in prison, of course you don't want to expose your true new self. So, well, okay, to be in a little bit of hiding might not hurt. We'll see with the next card. Oh, it's the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is Libra again, but it's a part of Libra that doesn't tell their truth. They want to be like not having problems, not having conflicts, not having bad things happening because their own actions. So they are sitting still in the boat, not making a sound. Zip. The mouth is sewn together and the eyes doesn't see. So you can see injustice being done in your life and still keep quiet about it because you fear the consequences. It might be that you're not fearing the consequences like a person would become mad at you. You might fear them becoming sad. So you don't want to tell them if they did something wrong or they didn't give you what you really have bought, or if they didn't present things in the way that you really wanted it, or if they didn't pull through on an agreement. You might be scared to hurt people, so therefore you are silent. So it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's just that you are getting a little bit on shaky grounds here, and all this truth, what will it lead to? Will it lead to me becoming like Five of Swords, hurting and judging other people? So the High Priestess can be very strict, and we have 2 here and 11. 1 + 1 is 2. So you can be afraid of your own strength here, or being afraid that your own strength will come out and not be accepted by the population. So we will see if there's any solution for this. And we have the Emperor. So the Emperor is that you need to believe in yourself, and the Emperor, sometimes it's the 4, and it's a very stable number, but it's connected to death, number 13. Empires comes and goes, and you need to be able to sacrifice old empires, like things that have been safe and square for you. It might be outdated, and you are the Emperor now in your own life. You are this beautiful knight out here to investigate new things, creating new empires, new civilizations, new heights. So you can't be left in the old and kind of keep silent and not tell people what you really think or feel or want or believe, because you are afraid of their power. Step into your own power. Become the Emperor, the beautiful, enlightened. We have the Sun here, divine masculine. Become this. This is the Hebrew age, but we had a little bit problem there. But it was this with supremacy of maybe a very intelligent or high civilization that made warfare on more natural populations and by force made them into what they were. But it was like an ignition that we needed. It's like Gemini. It needs to come this new things. Even if it comes with violence, it comes with new things. So we needed this. We needed this experience. It was like being one thing and had to meet the opposite, the other thing. And in this merge, we become twice as much as maybe we were before, very peaceful beings, unable to make warfare. Now, maybe you are peaceful beings that's good enough to be able to take care of yourself. You are not just always nice. Sometimes you are very powerful and you point out things with your whole hand. I know you have this in you, Capricorn. You can be very, very controlling and decisive and everything. But maybe it's something where you really need to speak up. Then you're silent and you're not supposed to anymore, because there's soul parts with you waking up, and it's the divine masculine coming out of its shadows, being the true hero. Instead of caving to authority, you're standing up for what's right, the truth. the highest moral standard and values with those Truth card, the Justice and Ace of Swords. So this is what you are called to do, dear Capricorn. So don't be shy now. Don't be afraid. Show your true colors and stand in your own grace and authority. Don't blind yourself to the injustice in the world. If you believe things to be in a certain way, you communicate it. Sometimes you will win, sometimes you will lose. It doesn't matter as long as you create your own truth from talking your own truth out to the world, not hiding. Don't hide, okay? So I will take a card from the Oracle of Visions to see a little bit what you are coming from. We have the kind of the Magician here. So it both wants connection and it wants peace, but it's doing so a little bit from manipulation, like keeping quiet when you know you should keep quiet. It's like being very well raised, but not being truthful. We can see on his face he's not a truthful person. So you're trying to manipulate things to being in the way that you want them to, but by that, by trying to create peace, you don't create truth. Step back a little bit on the peace and step forward a little bit with the truth. This is kind of Mercury juggling with communication. I will also take a card from my new beautiful Oracle deck by Debbie A. Anderson. It's the Vibrational Energy Oracle deck. They are illustrated by Heather Brewster. So one card for Capricorn. Okay, beautiful. You get the giggle factor. You need to take things more lightly. Don't take things so serious. Don't be like, oh, if I say the wrong word, people will never forgive me. Don't take things serious. Be more like this natural self of you that can laugh and say stories and maybe tell too much sometimes, but you can always say that you're sorry. You don't have to hold back on this humoristic traits of yourself. Don't be over well raised. Try to find the fun things, like laugh at people in authority doing their same stupid thing. And laughing is it's a very spiritual thing. It's very highly spiritual, vibrational energy, and it's very good with this card calling vibrational energy. So the giggle factor, become a little bit more like a Buddha figure. Don't take life so seriously. Don't mind what happens. Don't worry. Be happy. Become your own authority. Listen to yourself. Listen to the truth inside of you, and take everything a little bit more lightly. Whatever happens, happens. You just deal with it. Okay? So beautiful, dear Capricorn. I hope this helped, and thank you for watching this far, and you're welcome back for my mid-October reading. That will be in the beginning of October, actually. Okay, so bye-bye.